just record you on my voice. Oh,
I'll do it. I'll
perfect.
do it. Good.
Can you
So,
do the oil change one again? Because that
yes,
one
yes.
I can use.
Okay. So we're talking about when the people come back, this is going to be, you got to be really concise. Like, oh, uh, Andrea, it's so good to see you. It's like, I'm so glad you're back. It's been so awesome. No, it's been, it's like, hey, it's so good to see you back. I'm excited because I got new technology and I want people to learn something that is very important. You see this chart on very quickly out of all your spine, all the nerves in your spine. Basically, you feel that you know when you're healthy and you feel you know when you're sick, right? And I'll go, yeah, well, that's not so true. You only feel a very small part of the pain sensory nerve. So this means to kind of put it in layman's terms, it's like if you let me ask you a question, a couple questions. If you waited to change your oil on your automobile when the light comes on, which means it's very dangerously low and it's causing probably a lot of damage, from the time it gets so low and before the light comes on, and even when the light comes on, it's at a very low state, and the engine is really wearing out a lot faster than it should. If you did that every time to change your oil when you first get a car, do you think it lasts longer or it's not as long? Yeah, it's going to cut the life of that engine in half. Okay, but what do? We change the oil every 3,000, 5,000 miles, whatever. Yeah, and we're proactive because then that engine is going to last 100, 200,000 miles, and you're more important than a car. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, good. And just one other thing, it's kind of like a tooth is the same concept. A tooth is 90% enamel, 10% nerve. So do you wait till your tooth hurts to brush your teeth? No, no. So your tooth could be 70% rotten, decaying, and then you eat a soft roll at dinner one night and your tooth breaks off. It's like, how did that break? I wasn't eating nuts or something hard. Well, because most of it is all decayed, but it hadn't touched that nerve yet. Okay. And then do the finger thing. So basically, your spine, instead of moving like this from the last time you came till now, it's been in certain areas and twisted going like that. And that's what causes degeneration in discs. Just like I'm talking about the engine wearing out, your spine's wearing out. And then the best one is that's why grandma shrinks over time and people get smaller, because all those discs are wearing out because they're creating damage and loss of disc space because they've never gotten adjusted or they just got adjusted now and then. Okay, good. Good.
That makes sense. Thank you.
See, that's what you want them to say. That makes sense. You just don't want to say, hey, glad you're here. Research shows you need to come in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, research is, I even hate that terminology, research. Like this.
But I like the one with the immune system. I think that right now, I'm still waiting on my Valera. I pulled the plug, I bought it. So I'm waiting for that to come in.
Did I send you a thing on Jim Chester?
You sent me stuff. I put together an email. I haven't sent it out yet, but I put you because
well,
I wanted to wait.
Kevin in BC sent me this thing, 45-minute. Jim Chester laid it out. You know who Jim Chester is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant man. Must be okay. Yeah, I'll just send it to you. It's like,
okay.
You have time, on Sunday to listen to it because it's 45 minutes long. But
what is it? Talks about what?
Oh, talks about the whole concept and stuff about the vaccination and gives you facts. This guy doesn't say, he's like my buddy, who you just said, I can see him, John Mercola. I even made Mercola cry at Total Solution. He's like, he hugged me, said, I love listening to you, Dave. I said, well, I love listening to you. You're a smart guy. I'm just a dumb old jock.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so good. And yeah, I sent, I'm glad you got that. Did you get the substation thing done? A flyer just to give them about, okay. If you have it, what?
No, I will do that. I totally forgot.
Okay. If you have any question about that, let me know. And I am
no, I will do that. because that I can hand out. Because one of the things I'm going to say is when they come in, that it's good to see you and talk to them. But I'm also going to say, I have this new technology. I want to check out the health of your nervous system. Let's schedule the next appointment. And then I'll hand them the flyer. I think
Because
that'll work.
I asked Brock, I mean, not asked Brock, but I did send you the substation brochure,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that fourth question is the best one. You can even say, you can even put on there like, bullet points instead of all that reading, people don't read a lot. Boom, it does not hurt. Boom, it's so stressed to the nerve, which we cannot see on x-rays. And boom, for me, a major concern is why do I keep coming back? I'm able now to monitor it and just not, with technology objectively. And again, the one big great thing about that is like, would you like me, if you have blood pressure problems, to test you subjectively? Like, I see you got some dark circles. Let me feel, oh yeah, you feel clammy. I kind of think it's maybe this, me just guessing, or would you rather have me put a blood pressure cuff on and say, oh my gosh, it's 200 over whatever. This is kind of like putting a blood pressure cuff on your spine and finding out what's going on. So I don't have to guess anymore. I'm going to engage and be more specific. The better I can diagnose, the better I can treat, the better results. Papa John's pizza. Oh no, that's something else. Yeah.
Okay.
Better diagnosing, better treatment, better results. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't just poke, pop, and pray. I get right to it. Boom. Adjust what's needed and leave the rest alone.
So what would be the language that Megan used? Because a lot of times they have a lot of patients that, and I'm trying to work with them on this, but it's proving to be difficult because they let patients leave without scheduling, because they're like, oh no, well, they schedule online, which they're like, well, we can't be harassing them either. I said, I know that, but you need to find a way to get them to book before they leave. So when she goes, yeah, well, I call them back. So when she calls them back, she's like, hey, it's time to get you in for your checkup. That feels less important. Do you have better languaging than, like, what could she say, whether it's on a text or she leaves on a phone message? Hey, we haven't seen you for a little bit. Let's get you next. So the ones that, because there's some people that are off track for 2-3 weeks now. Let's get you back on. And I believe that's why my numbers are dropping, because there's no follow through. And when I try and talk to her about it, it is such a sensitive subject. She's like, because she feels like she fails me every time I bring that up. I don't even know how to approach it anymore. Every time I do, she's like, well, I don't know what else you want me to do. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure out the procedures where we're missing. The problem is she is so freaking good with these patients that it's worth some of these headaches.
Okay, number one, you don't say, hey, Megan, I'm sorry. Realize that you can see through coaching and coach.
Wait. Your sound is awful.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, better.
There
Yeah.
you go. Okay, so you're gonna say this. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. That blue, it's called the blue thing. It's like a ball. After about a half hour, it changes to like tinny or something. Anyways, so you're gonna say, I realize one thing. I apologize. I need to do a better job laying down the foundation about the care program. That way, you're not attacking her. Okay.
Okay.
Then second is like, um, basically, and you need to. Now, here's the other thing. Before I say that, I just did, and I might even have Michael Gautier in Toronto call you or write something down. I worked with his staff yesterday, and that I'm telling you what, they were blown away. They're like, "Oh, what if the patient says, you know what, I can't make it, but he calls in and I'll reschedule for Monday. Well, they're supposed to come in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're not making it up. So what do I say? I mean, I couldn't believe, as long as they've been with Michael, how and I'm really, what I'm saying is I'm really stoked on saying, listen, they were blown away and they go, thank you so much. I feel so much more comfortable in saying things. I need to do a staff meeting with her, and you. It
Right?
was amazing. I mean, they said, can we do more of these? Because I learned so much from you in a half hour. So then the next thing is saying, so here is your job, and this is her job. Her job is to support you and reiterate and reaffirm everything you said. So a lot of times what we do is we get mad at the front desk and say, why aren't you doing that? Well, listen, it's their job to support you. They're not the doctor. And she needs to say, well, remember what Doc said. So when I went over like the W and that, they go, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense to say, hey, listen, you know, each adjustment builds on another and we got momentum and then you quit and you're losing your momentum and that's not a good thing. We need to get you back on track because you're off track now. Same thing like off track, you're losing your momentum. So what she needs to say is, now this is a person that hasn't been in for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's like, so you're gonna call him Mary. Hi, this is Megan. I'm just calling to say, we realize you have been in for 3 weeks. We don't want you to get so far off track. We want to get you back on track with your care, because again, do you realize you're doing good, and now you're gonna start to lose ground if we don't get back on track. So, let's schedule you to get your adjustment to keep you healthy. I mean, more like that. That's what you need to do. Okay. But in the meantime, you're and you're going to get there. Let me tell you, you're exactly like Aaron in Wisconsin, who, after about 6 months, 7 months, the last couple weeks ago, she's like, oh my gosh, I sold 2 year programs yesterday. And then they call a company, I sold a 6 month program. I can't believe it, but again, it's hard to turn this ship around. I totally understand with you when you're so used to doing it a certain way. But once you get it and you get it, the patient gets it better. So she needs to understand the why behind it. Instead of just telling her to say words, she needs to know, well, why. And that's where I think we need to have a conversation, seminar, a coaching call with her. And so she can vent and she can ask questions. I can go over what I went over with Mike's group and understand it better. But it's not like, what did she say? What did she say when she called? She said,
Come in and get your tuna.
oh, she says tune up. Okay. See, and what they're going to do is they're going to think, well, I'm okay. I don't need a tune
Yeah.
up. You think you're out of tune. So, and again, she needs to have that second level of conversation when they go, back on track. Well, I feel I'm doing okay. Well, do you realize that you only feel 10% of what's going on? A lot of times it's more about how your body's functioning, and we don't want to wait till you have a breakdown to come back in. I mean, stuff like that. She needs to know that if they're basing their health on feelings, it's wrong, and then she needs to nicely say, and it's not yeah, that's what a lot of people think. They're bugging people. Well, she has a problem. It's more her problem than anything else, uh, that she feels, that, if I get called, and someone's nice to me, I'm not going to be mad. But they're like, hey, where are you? Let's, it's like, no, 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 no. Hey, Dave, I'm really concerned about you. We're thinking about you. We need you, we want you to get back on track. And again, if she's calling people like that, she needs to know about, like, their, not the whole case history. Like, say this person has migraines. Like, if you called my wife, she had migraines. Like, I know you're probably doing pretty well with those migraines, but we don't want them to come back. So we need to keep you on track. And let's get back with the appointments instead of waiting until you have a breakdown and you need a lot more appointments all in a small window. That's the key too. They don't realize the the more financial ease of wellness care instead of waiting until they have a breakdown. You know.
So if their care was supposed to say, let's say twice a week or something, or 3 times a week, and they've gone 2 or 3 weeks without coming in. When they come back, what is my language? Am I back on track at twice a week? Am I,
Well, first you got to know the why. Say, oh, I know you haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Was there any? And again, it goes back to they didn't get the big idea. So it's like, is there a problem with the care or something that you've missed 2 or 3 weeks? And and say, you got to put it on yourself too first. If you attack them, and you won't attack them, but still, you even say, "What's your problem?" No, but it's like, I'm concerned. It's like, why has it been 2 or 3 weeks? And usually there's a good reason. I mean, it could be a good reason as far as something that you don't want to say, like my grandma, my grandma's dying or something. You didn't know that. Like, where you been? Well, my grandma's dying. You feel like a schmuck. Okay, so it's
Well, I
just,
never really say, where have you been?
yeah.
That's not,
No, no, no. Right, right. So it's like we really missed you, and you're off. Not where you've been. It's more like, and so we need to get you, say, back on track, and that's where you go. Is there any reason why you can't be committed to the plan program I laid out for you? And then then they'll say, well, yeah, because it really it really didn't work, or I didn't feel it was beneficial,
one
or
second.
something.
Yes, sweetheart, just, it's okay. Can you give me one
Yeah,
second?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, no, that's okay. Well, I tell you what I'm glad you had a little break, because what came into my mind, why don't you why don't you do a scan on them? I mean, see, because again, what people they go like, how do I know if they're basing their health on pain? Number one, which is wrong, but they're either going to say I feel better or I didn't get any results. That's the only two things. So why don't you say, hey, I'm glad you're back. We're going to do the scan, to get a reading on what, where you're at right now, because we're able to, it shows me stuff that, you know, that you're not aware of, that I might not be aware of, but also it's going to show how you're responding to care. But you haven't implemented, and I know there's so much, you haven't implemented the W, correct?
Yeah, no, not yet.
Okay. Well, again,
I
that,
don't know how to add anything else into this world because Megan told, now that I say it out loud, like she's definitely, because she gets so disheveled. Like, look, like right now our charts are falling apart. We're missing consent forms. Like, the more I change things, the more things fall apart. And she's really that person that needs things to change and then stabilize, then change a little bit, then stabilize, then change it. And right now, between Travis coming in, the open house, me trying to bring in this new EMG, like there's so much that she's really struggling. And on Monday, she was sitting there and she was crying. She's like, this job is not fun and I don't like coming and it's always so stressful and I never feel like I do a good job. And I'm like, when have I ever said you didn't do a good job? She's like, it keeps changing and I never feel like I'm really. She works at the keg and the keg is exactly the same day in, day out, day in, day out. The only thing that changes is the menu. Like that special, nothing else changes. In my office, things keep changing all the time as I'm trying to better them. And she's really struggling with that a lot. She
mm,
feels like she's underwater. Like she's supposed to be salaried full time, but she comes in half an hour, 45 minutes before a shift, and she's done at the end of the shift. And then she complains she doesn't have enough time to get work done. So then when the phone rings, she's like, oh, I'm like, Megan, the phone is our lifeline. You have to change your opinion before you answer the phone. But she answers the phone and she's great. Hello, like she totally does this, but it's the energy behind it. And I see
yes.
that energy. Like I had one patient yesterday was difficult and wanted orthotics and she wanted them today because she's running out of her benefits and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of it, right at lunchtime, Megan was like, oh my God, she's such a blah, 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 swear words, swear words, swear words. She's like, I can't believe that. Like, she just drives me crazy. I can't stand that patient. And I'm like, part of me wants to say, shut up. Like, stop complaining about patients. But yet she turns around and she is amazing. And I hate that. because at least if she was bad, I could get rid of her. I
Right,
just want her
right,
to be good. She could be
right,
good. I would be like in heaven.
right. Well, and the thing is, I'm sorry to say this, but we really got to focus on her. Like, number one, we got to say, okay, we got enough implemented. We're gonna make sure we get things implemented and stay. So
It means I
there's hope
can't
coming.
bring her in. I can't bring her in to help me do any of the new patient stuff. So now I'm adding stuff to new patient procedures, but that's now I have to make my new patients an hour. I can't. See, there's my that reaction. That's my reaction.
I'm honestly, I know right now we can't even do that because you'd really be thrown off trying to train somebody new. But she could be your blockage. I mean, because even though she puts on a smile face, here's a good thing. One time the guy goes, "Hey Dave, what's going on? New patients are down, and I don't know what's changed." But and so I came in and I went about an hour into there. I go, "Hey Doc, Mary over there, she's the slum station." She goes, "What do you mean? Your insurance girl? She has a stack of forms, insurance forms to do this big." And I go, "Hey Mary, guess what?" She goes, "What, Dave?" I said, "There's a family of 6 that just scheduled. They're coming this afternoon, plus a couple more. Man, we're gonna have almost 10 new patients." She goes, "Oh shit." And she's
Hmm.
like, and she was so mad. I'm like, "There's your problem. You put out that energy. Like, nope, I don't want anybody. We attract what we think about, so what we bring about." So she doesn't want that. Oh boy.
Because that's what's happening now with the new patient, with our patient appreciation. She goes, "You can't do it." I'm like, "Yes, I can." She's like, "You can't. Like, we can only be capacity." I said, "Fine. We don't let more than 10 or 12 people in the clinic at a time, and the other ones have to wait in the hall. We just make it a party in the hall then."
Right. That's what I was gonna say. You need to have some chairs out in the hall and and some, maybe. Well, no, you see again with COVID, I was gonna say face painting or something out there. Maybe have a
Can't.
couple. Yeah, I can't.
Like,
I know. Okay,
that's why I'm
but
like, do I even do this? Like, I feel like I'm
yes, no, you do it. You do it. Okay.
okay.
And here's a saying, and you probably laugh. Anything worth doing is worth doing, even if it's poorly. So it's worth doing. I said, hey, Alexander Graham Bell didn't invent the pocket phone because what he did, then he grew from that. Wright brothers didn't invent the stealth bomber or the jets, but they went ahead and So this is worth doing, yes, and you're going to learn from it and then do it. Do something better because an event's an event, whether it's an open house, patient appreciation day, or whatever. But getting back, I just can't. This is what you do to the people that haven't been in for a while. I'm so glad you're in, Mary, because I'm telling you what, and I'll get you the research that the immune system is, impacted 100% or 200%. I forget, 400, I think it is, uh, adjustments. And right now, one of the best things you could do, one of them is keep your adjustments to help your body function and be healthy and fortified from the inside so it can fight the stuff from the outside that's going around. So it's a more just positivity, and then let's keep you healthy. Say, you know what? My concept is I don't just want to get you well, which we've done before, but I want to keep you well. And the way we keep you well is by keeping your adjustments and keep it on track. Does that sound? And then and clarify. Does that sound? Um, does
Yeah,
that sound? What am I trying to say? Does that sound correct? Not correct.
good. Does that sound beneficial?
Is it beneficial? No.
See, again, I struggle with language, right?
Well, no,
So,
I'm trying because I'm making this up right now. Um, oh no,
hey,
the
your
the be- the
video,
best
the
words I
just
want to say. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. And if she goes, yeah, okay, great. Well, then you got to say, okay, so then whatever she was on twice a week, say she's on 3 times a week. I know, so it's like, um, at least we need to get you back on track at least a couple days a week, for the next 6 weeks, just to get you back on track. Okay. All right. Great. Boom. So that's perfect right there.
So then do what back to the giving away the new patient exam for free as a how do I go to Thanksgiving, which is 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks? Or do I go to the end of October?
Well, in lieu of what you've been telling me, um, no, here's what we do. We do to Thanksgiving, but then say, guess what? We are going to extend it.
Okay,
There you
okay,
go.
that makes sense. Okay,
So you give them that short, it's the sales thing of the sales this, got to get in now and then go, well, we've got such great response that we're going to extend it because of the holidays, came up and so many people want to come in. So our goal is to get as
okay,
many people healthy for the first year, not wait to January. We're going to get everybody healthy now. Okay, good.
okay. All right, I think I feel good.
Good. I'm glad. You feel good, I feel good.
But I would like to connect. Is it worth connecting you with the two girls like Pietra and Megan up front on before the event?
Oh yeah, it's definitely before the event to have them not
So Monday, we typically get together before shift around 12. Do you have any time Monday, 12, 12:30, somewhere around there?
12 to 30. Yeah, that'd be one
My time?
1 o'clock my time or 1:30. Yes. Yes.
So we'll set it up for Monday, 12.
Yeah, double check with them in case they go, oh no, I got a nail appointment or something.
Well, no, it's supposed to be our meeting time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so we'll do Monday, 12, and then we'll record it so that I can have it as part of procedure. So anyone new, like Aria, my daughter, won't be there because she's at school, but then she could at least listen to it as well.
Okay. Yeah, and what I did with them, um, again, if they don't see the big picture, oh, sorry, they don't see the big picture. So I'm just gonna go over some of the stuff I already taught you, but it makes it to them. They told me this, and it's really powerful. Well, it makes sense now about the whole, journey and the process, or process of chiropractic care. Oops, sorry. And so yeah, so this will be good,
Okay,
and we'll just see where the chips may fall.
perfect.
Okay, I'll send
Thank
you.
you.
Oh, you're worth it. I'll send you the video. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Have a blessed day. Take care.
thank
Keep,
you.
keep
Okay,
smiling. Even though today's not perfect, it doesn't mean it doesn't have purpose. And I'll send
right.
you that video. It's a nice. It's a song that you'll see. It makes you
Okay,
smile. So, all right. Take
perfect.
care. Bye bye.
Thanks.